Madam Clerk?
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Councilmember Sims.
Here.
Councilmember Sol.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the Council of the Whole and the regular meeting on April 20th, 2015. Was everybody present?
I wasn't here.
Deputy Mayor.
Deputy Mayor was not here, so. May I have a motion to accept the minutes, please?
Wilson.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Abstain.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. City Manager's report, please?
Okay, the first item, there's been obviously a lot of issues with sanitation, particularly the trucks. We will be picking up 2 trucks tomorrow, and we'll be picking up another one on Wednesday. We have a lease agreement with those 3 vehicles. This will improve our services to our residents, to add to the fleet that is obviously has mechanical problems. These will be first used as recycling vehicles. We do have 7 flipper trucks that are functioning well. We will be sending these other vehicles out to have the flipper mechanisms placed on, but that'll be done on a selective basis and obviously not all at one time. Building department update, particularly property maintenance. There's been a lot of concern about property maintenance, and I've attempted to address that with that department. I have a summary for you for the period between May 25th to June the 9th. There was 120 notices written. 92 inspections made with 70 properties in compliance. 22 summonses were issued in that time, 9 certificate of compliance inspections, and then 13 sidewalk inspections. So that's over a 2-week period. An update on 76 Main Street. The sidewalk has been repaired, and the fence has been moved back to allow for pedestrians. We're still looking at that fence as to whether it can go back further. We're also looking at the parking that is on that street that still is cornered off. We may have to do some more movement of those fences in order to obviously maximize the parking in downtown, and I have to work with the construction department to make sure that it's done in a safe manner. There is also a recommendation from the Upper Main Street Alliance to do some what I would call art on that on the panels. So the setting up those final fence or panels is pretty critical. So I don't know if the council has any comments. Based on my research, it does not violate any zoning ordinances to allow that as temporary artwork. The council meetings do conflict with some of the summer concert series. So what we're recommending is that the National Night Out is scheduled for August the 4th with a concert. So we're recommending that we hold the double meeting on August the 3rd, which is a Monday. And then there's a conflict with June 21, which we'd have a combined meeting on July the 20th. So we need some feedback.
July 21.
July 20th. So we need some, what I need tonight is comments on that as well as the fence. We have spoken previously about the drone issue in the area, particularly with Teterboro Airport. There is a place for it. I still would like some more feedback as to whether the council would like to proceed with some kind of ordinance on that. The other announcement is the ITN North Jersey, which is a group of folks that kind of act as Uber for senior citizens, which if you're a healthy senior and you have some time, they have a nonprofit organization which other seniors can call up in the area. You can bank the time so that when you need a ride, you can bank that and someone else will give you a ride. So it's an opportunity for the seniors in Hackensack. And if someone wants to give of their time, they can do that as well, participate with this organization. The road improvements, I have Jim here, which is dealing with the award of contract for the 215 road improvements, which is on the agenda. The bid award to DSL Contracting for $873,425. The project budgeted amount was $960,000. Those road improvements are Prospect Avenue, Essex to Passaic, South Newman Street, Lodi to Essex, Coles Avenue, Main Street to Lewis, Hobart Street, Lodi to Division Street, and Stanley Place, Railroad Avenue to First. The contract will also include all ADA compliant ramps for all streets except for Prospect. The contract will be offset by the CDBG grant, which is a grant from the county, through the county, of $295,266. So you can subtract that to the from the $873,425. The Berry Street issue, which was brought up several meetings ago, will be paved as a change order with funding from the capital ordinance to be adopted tonight. So I believe, unless Jim wants to add anything to
Dave,
that.
was Porter Street on there?
Porter Street is included in the ordinance that we're adopting tonight.
Right, okay.
But it's not part of the DLS contract.
No, but
And we have, just to follow up on that, we have met with the finance committee, and we will be working on a actual bond ordinance. Is that for the next meeting or July?
If not the next meeting, it would have to be the meeting after that.
Okay,
We
so
got one project that's time sensitive.
have you spoken with Lodi? Because they were supposed to be splitting the cost on that Porter Street paving, John.
I spoke to John Flanagan about that today.
Right.
Because I had told him that we're doing the ordinance tonight. So starting tomorrow, he's going to start to work on putting the project together, and I'm going to contact Lodi and let him know what our intentions are.
Okay.
I had previous contact with the administrator last year, and they were still all ready to go on that, so I don't anticipate any issues.
Okay.
That ends the city manager's report for June 9th.
All right, thank you. Moving forward, Resolution 200-15.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 20-2015, an ordinance amending section 58 entitled Schedule 9 Stop Intersections, intersection from Maple and Pangbourne for a three-way stop. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
May I have a motion, please, to open to the public?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol. Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody who'd like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk, please. Seeing none, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol. Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Now you need a motion to adopt.
Need a motion to adopt this ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 20-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 201-15.
The resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 21-2015, a capital ordinance of the City of Hackensack for various improvements, equipment purchases, appropriating $473,000 and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from fund balance of the general capital fund of the City of Hackensack. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. At this time, anybody who'd like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward. Give your name and address to the clerk. Seeing none, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Motion to adopt.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 21-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 202-15.
Is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 22-2015, an ordinance amending Part 2 entitled General Legislation, Chapter 170, entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code to amend Section 49.2 entitled Parking for the Handicapped. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Have a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. At this time, anybody who'd like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward. Give your name and address to the clerk. Seeing none, motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Motion to adopt this ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 22-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 203-15.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 8-2015, an ordinance amending Part 2 of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code entitled General Legislation to repeal and replace Chapter 159 entitled Towers and Wreckers. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
May I have a motion open to the public, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. May I have a motion to adopt, please?
No, you need to close, motion to close first.
Oh, motion to close to the public, sorry.
Offer.
Jumping ahead.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Now I need a motion to adopt.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 8-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Resolution 204-15.
This is for introduction of ordinance number 16-2015, an ordinance amending Part 2 entitled General Legislation, Chapter 90 entitled Food and Drink, Article
Introduce.
7 entitled Sale of Tobacco Products.
May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Nay.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Nay.
Mayor LaBrus.
Nay. Resolution,
Doesn't pass.
you have to go forward?
No, failed.
Not introduced, it's failed.
Not introduced, it failed.
Resolution 205-15.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 19-2015, an ordinance authorizing the granting of a utility easement to PSE&G over a portion of Block 356, Lot 1 by the City of Hackensack and Bergen County.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second. Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 19-2015 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 23, 2015, at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter, as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 206-15.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 23-2015, an ordinance amending Part 2 entitled General Legislation, Chapter 170 entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code to amend Section 70 entitled Schedule 21 Parking Meter Zones.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance number 23-2015 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 23, 2015 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Resolution 207-15.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 24-2015, an ordinance amending ordinance number 4, 2015, an ordinance fixing and determining municipal class positions and salary ranges for certain contractual and non-contractual officers and employees of the City of Hackensack.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Nay.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 24-2015 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 23, 2015 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Resolution 208-15.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 25-2015, an ordinance amending Part 1 of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code entitled Administration Legislation to add Chapter 10 entitled Rules of Order.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer. Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 25-2015 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 23, 2015 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. That was 209 or 210, I'm sorry.
We're up to 209.
Resolution 209-15.
This is a resolution authorizing the renewal of liquor licenses for the 2015-2016 year.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 210-15.
The resolution concurring with the planning board's investigation and designating block 204.01, lot 28, and block 301, lots 1 and 6, commonly known as 133 River Street, 156 Moore Street, and 125 River Street as a non-condemnation area in need of redevelopment.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second. Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 211-15.
This is a resolution authorizing the granting of a temporary construction easement to PSE&G over a portion of Block 356, Lot 1 by the City of Hackensack and Bergen County.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second. Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 212-15.
This is a resolution authorizing tax refunds.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second. Second. Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 212-15. I'm sorry, 213-15.
This is a resolution authorizing award of contract for removal and replacement of catch basins.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 214-15.
This is a resolution authorizing award of contract for emergency storm and sanitary sewer repairs.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
I'm
Roll
sorry,
call.
who offered?
Dave.
Dave offered.
Oh, okay, thank you. Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 215-15.
This is a resolution authorizing award of contract for the 2015 summer food program.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 216-15.
This is a resolution authorizing award of contract for the 2015 road resurfacing program.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 217-15.
A resolution authorizing accrued time payout of $61,851.86 to Charlotte Penny.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 218-15.
A resolution authorizing accrued time payout of $100,549.50 to Thomas Javasi.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 219-15.
It's a resolution authorizing execution of a settlement agreement.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 221-15.
We're up to 220.
I'm sorry, 220-15.
Resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a declaration of interest form for the technical assistance grant for Bergen County Trust Fund's floodplain protection program.
Motion, please.
Offer it.
Second. Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 221-15.
This is a resolution authorizing the city of Hackensack to prepare a combined sewer overflow long-term control plan.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 222-15.
This is a resolution authorizing the city of Hackensack to enter into a cooperative pricing agreement.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 223-15.
The resolution authorizing a person-to-person liquor license transfer from Barbara A. Edwards, trustee, 88 Capital, Inc., doing business as Frontier Liquors, to KQ LLC.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer it.
Second. Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 224-15.
This is a resolution authorizing the issuance of requests for qualifications for professional services to the city of Hackensack.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer it.
Second. Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 225-15.
This is a resolution authorizing accrued time payout of $47,031.73 to Luciano Angelilli.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 226-15.
This is a resolution authorizing accrued time payout of $21,919.60 to Peter Paul.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 227-15.
This is a resolution authorizing refunds for the Hackensack Recreation Department.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second. Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 228-15.
The resolution authorizing the city of Hackensack to apply for the bonus grant for food waste, abandoned tires, and public space recycling.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 229-15.
The resolution of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, declaring the intent to fully comply with its current and future affordable housing obligations and to serve as the catalyst for change, thereby rendering any Mount Laurel lawsuits as unnecessary litigation.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 230-15.
It's a resolution authorizing execution of a license agreement for access to private property to construct Perpentins, I'm sorry about the pronunciation about that, to the storm sewer separation project.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer it.
Second. Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
I didn't read that one before I got it.
Resolution 231-15.
Is a resolution assigning the law firms Carmaniello and Ritardi LLC and Greco and Di Filippo LLC as special litigation counsel.
Have a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 232-15.
It's a resolution authorizing the payment of bills. The current fund is $1,301,123.64. Grants of $19,710. Payroll is $1,588,379.55. Public parking is $2,415.23. Capital is $344,437.51. Escrow, $15,591.25. Trust accounts, $152,325.37. Total expenditures, $3,423,982.55. Interfunds and transfers, $348,948.09.
Have a motion to pay the bills, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
That's it.
Thank you. That was a long docket. Thank you, clerk. Appreciate it. I'd like to take a 5-minute recess before we start, if we may. Please note, Madam Clerk, that Mr. Sims has left. He's not feeling well due to his hip surgery.
Okay.
Have that in the minutes. Okay, at this time, I need a motion open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims left. Councilmember Sol.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. At this time, the meeting is open to the public. Please come forward, give your name and address to the clerk. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, Robert Chandler, 151 Prospect Avenue. As you know, I haven't been here in a long time, several years, but I wanted to come tonight because I had a couple questions and a couple comments. First of all, for my friend Jason Soames, I just want to congratulate you. I'm so happy you're part of this council, and you're a businessman, you lived in Hackensack, and to have an impartial person on the council, I'm thrilled. The next item is LTEC. Again, living on Prospect Avenue and fighting it for several years with everybody here. I'm thrilled that that was defeated. And to be honest with you, people who live on Prospect have known what it's like with traffic now, and the idea that this was defeated is wonderful. So I just want to thank the council, for continuing that fight that the last council did. My only question I have tonight, to be honest with you, I've been reading the record as to certain comments regarding the contract with Hackensack Hospital. And so I'm reading the record, and then I'm hearing rumors. So my question just tonight is just very simple, is regarding the ambulances. Years ago, I did have the ambulance come to my apartment, but at the time I called them, they were already there. And unfortunately, I wasn't really dressed yet, but they were so efficient and wonderful. I never got a bill. And then I hear rumors, again, some in the paper, some otherwise, that now the residents are going to be charged for the hospital services. And I just want to know from, the council, am I hearing, is that true? And, what is the cost and how do we handle that? And why was that done that way as opposed to having the hospital assume the cost as it's been for several years? Mr. Mayor, or...
I will defer that to the city manager.
The process right now, we are in litigation, so I got to limit my comments. The process now, if you need the services of the ambulance, you would get the bill from the hospital, and you would pay whatever portion your insurance doesn't pay, and then you'd submit the bill to the city of Hackensack, and then you would be reimbursed.
So that if my insurance won't pay any of it, that the city will pay the whole bill?
If whatever the insurance does not cover, you submit the bill. You pay the bill and you submit the bill to the city of Hackensack. That's correct.
And do we have any idea what that cost will be?
Every ambulance ride, depending on what you have done. If you have the paramedics there, obviously it costs more.
Paramedics are a separate bill now.
That's a separate.
Okay, and my next question is, from the articles in the record, I'm unsure on who negotiated this contract. In other words, usually you would have either outside counsel or someone negotiate with Hackensack. Obviously, it's got a big legal team, and my question to the council is, could you identify who negotiated this contract with the hospital?
Again, I'll leave that to the city manager and the attorney.
My comment to that is we are currently in litigation, and that I'm not going to comment on.
So what I'm saying is you can't tell us, no, forget the litigation.
Well, that's part of that. We're in litigation, so we're not going to discuss that.
Okay. All right, then that's my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Jason Nuttamacher, Hackensack, New Jersey. Through Oprah, I put together a timeline of the events of the Hackensack Medical Center agreement debacle. I highlighted a tab. If anyone wants to fact check me. On November 17th, 2014, emails reflect that a meeting between the city and medical center occurred. At that meeting, an agreement was reached for 1, the elimination of the payment for crossing guards, 2, giving back $16 million to the medical center, the mayor's employer, on air rights, which is a conservative estimate, and 3, as Mr. Chandler just referred, the elimination of free ambulance services to Hackensack residents. On December 7th, 2014, emails show that a formal draft agreement was circulated memorializing that November 17th agreement, paragraphs F, H, and I. February 23rd, 2015, the deputy mayor in closed session, as reflected in the minutes that were approved, stated, quote, "Are we still keeping the agreement that there would be no fee for the Hackensack residents for the ambulance services?" End quote. The tax assessor, not a lawyer, not to my knowledge, the tax assessor responded, quote, "Yes, that will stay. It was discussed at the meetings." Close quote. Clearly, the deputy mayor did not read the November or December circulated agreements, which expressly indicate that the free ambulance services were being rescinded. If the deputy mayor did read the drafts, the question would not be, quote, "Are we keeping?" but one would presume there would have been a statement or a demand to remove that provision. The deputy mayor and other council members were duped that day. Laziness and incompetence are the only explanations. On March 10th, the council votes to approve the New Deal, and the proverbial knife is put into the residents' collective backs. April 20th, upon obtaining the agreement by Oprah, Richard Salkin first questions and criticizes the agreement at that night's city council meeting. Then, as reflected in the flurry of emails, a cover-up begins to be orchestrated by the deputy mayor while she's on vacation. April 24th, emails reflect that the deputy mayor only then asks to read the 2008 agreement regarding free ambulance services, despite voting over a month prior to rescind it. April 27th, it is only on that day that the deputy mayor asks for the 2002 crossing guard agreement, despite voting to rescind that agreement over a month prior. It is only on April 27th that the CFO, who, Mr. Chandler, was partly responsible for negotiating the March 2015 agreement, reads the prior 2008 ambulance agreement and asks for the previous 2009 air rights agreement and the 2002 crossing guard agreement. In other words, the prior agreements that were revoked by the March 2015 new agreement were only found and read 7 weeks after this council approved the New Deal. We now see that neglect and ineptitude are this administration's blueprint. April 28th, despite being revoked in March 2015, only now is the previous air rights agreement circulated to the entire council. The same air rights agreement that would have generated over $16 million for the city going forward. Despite the continued nonsensical spin of the city manager and deputy mayor that negotiations were continuing after the agreement was finalized, which makes no sense, no emails exist between December 2014 draft agreement and Mr. Salkin's questions at the April 20th meeting that reflect any ongoing negotiations or meetings. Only after Mr. Salkin publicizes your incompetence does the cover-up begin. On May 19th, the deputy mayor stated, and I quote, "Of course the agreement was read before the March 10th vote to approve it." The deputy mayor also stated that at the February 23rd meeting that you had questions about it and that you were, quote, "assured that the cost to residents would be the same as always been," end quote. However, the minutes, once again, of the February 23rd meeting, which you approved in May, show that you're not being truthful. Your question on February 23rd was, and I'm quoting, "Are we still keeping the agreement that there would be no fee for the Hackensack residents for the ambulance services?" End quote. If you took the 10 minutes to read the draft or the final agreement before the March 10th vote, you would have seen that the free ambulance services were specifically revoked. And now, the ultimate catch-22. If you read it before the March 10th agreement, why did you vote to cancel the free ambulance services for the city residents? And if you did not read it, why not give the city 10 minutes of your time? Were you negligent and lazy, or did you just think it was the right thing to do? To sum this all up, lies, neglect, laziness, and incompetence continue to define this administration.
Jason, your 5 minutes are up. Thank you. Next, please.
Richard Salkin, Hackensack, New Jersey. If you're going to hide behind litigation, at least understand what the litigation is about. The litigation challenges the ability of a governing body to amend or revoke or repeal an ordinance with a resolution. The lawsuit challenges the actions taken by this council because of the mayor's flagrant violation of his ethical responsibilities by being present in an executive session. Does not talk about the wisdom or lack thereof of entering into this agreement. So it should be fair game, and you should not hide behind the fact that there's litigation, because litigation is not about everything in this debacle. There was an editorial in the Record Sunday about the maybe even worse deal, if that's possible, I don't know, that the state did with Exxon regarding the pollution. You're getting 2.5 cents on the dollar, according to the settlement. And as infrequent as it would be for me to quote the record, it's also important for settlements to uphold the public interest. You know, it was so telling at the last council meeting. Regina DePasqua got up and directed a question at the city attorney, were you involved in this? And he asked if it was okay to address it, and he said, Mr. Mayor said it was okay, and he said, no, it was not. And her quote, I will remember this for a long time. That explains it. And it does. It really does. When Stephen Gelber got up here and said, who was representing you? What legal and you look like deer in headlights. It was a pathetic, absolutely pathetic. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. You know, Kathy, when you urinated away $20,000 on Jason's Oprah suit, your quote was, lesson learned. Well, $16 million, you could better come up with something better than that. Mr. Sohn, welcome. I'm not going to ask you about what you think about the mayor's lack of conformity to ethical standards. I'm not going to ask you about whether you have an opinion about resolutions and ordinances. But for your young years, you're an experienced businessman. You're now on the council. What's your opinion of what took place here? Do you have one?
I'm gonna go with what the lawyer's gonna say here. It's in litigation, so I'm not gonna get into it.
Notwithstanding that you understand what the lawsuit's about and has nothing to do with the wisdom of it, you choose not to respond?
Yes.
It's litigation.
Thank you for your service, and I did know it.
So drop it, let it litigate.
It's ironic, I see Mayor Menezes is here. You know something, Jorge? Your name is on that agreement, and I think that was one of the proudest and best deals negotiated by that council.
That deal's stuck.
It's done.
Do you have any control over yourself?
Please.
Thank you for controlling the meetings as well as you usually do, John LaBrazzo.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Good seeing you too.
Next, please.
I gotta smile first. Hold on. All right. Hope that didn't take away from my 5 minutes. Daniel Carolla, West Lookout Avenue. I'm really sorry that Mr. Sims was here because I had some genuinely nice things to say about him, but I'll try to alter my comments as though he's not here, though I hope he sees the video, because I truly I like him a lot. When I first started coming to these meetings, I was struck by the fact that you all wished us well at the end of every meeting and telling us to get home safely, and it's a nice gesture, sure, but it's not like any of us have all that far to go. I think Mr. Scrivo drives home the farthest amount, but be that all as it may, I wonder where this repeated, warning of getting home safe was coming from, or do you think we're all so ragged when we leave here that we drive recklessly on our way home? But now I get it. We'd better get home safe now, because if we don't, we're going to get stuck with an ambulance bill. And as shocking and as disheartening as this move was, I'm most upset with Councilman Sims. I like Councilman Sims. I like his spirit and I like his enthusiasm, and he and I really are on the same team. We can disagree about how much is too much to spend on a feasibility study for Battaglia's soccer cathedral, and we can disagree on how much is too much to dole out to campaign insiders and contributors in your sweep to open transparency, but at the end of the day, every 4 years, I truly feel that Mr. Sims and I go and pick the same man or woman to head to the White House. And that shouldn't be the least bit surprising, because this is Hackensack after all. A blue bastion in a bluer and bluer bellwether county. And while some would like to pretend that partisanship is a bad thing all the time, I disagree. It's part of who we all are. And it tells me that, again, at the end of the day, Mr. Sims and I, our minds come from similar places, similar goals, aspirations, hopes, and dreams for our city, state, and nation. And I mean this as no disrespect to my good friends on the other side of the aisle, all three of them, but with sticking working class folks with an ambulance bill and hoping insurance is going to cover it, that's not something that Mr. Sims should be proud of. That's certainly not something I'd be proud of. That's not who we are. That's not who Hackensack is. That's certainly not who the city is. This isn't Hawthorne or Sparta. This is Hackensack. We're not yelling at everyone around us and telling them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, not just because that's asinine, but because that's not who we are in this city. Mr. Sims and I, we're representatives of this city. We represent this city, the majority of the city. We're not a pair of retirees sticking a Kathy Donovan lawn sign in front of our house. We're at the Jim Tedesco victory party. So I'm glad Mr. Sims asked back in April about a clarification on the cost of ambulance services, but the time to really ask that question was before it was approved and not after. I haven't been on an elected body as long as Mr. Sims, but I do know that much, and I'm sorry if I sound a little upset, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and I'm sorry if I might not sound like I'm as big a fan of Commissioner Sims as I am, because what's, perhaps the most open and transparent part of this council's governance, what gives me the most hope, is your routine capitulation. You even had the strength and fortitude to pull Mr. Trost's appointment for 2 weeks. Alarmed by negative comments about the hospital agreement? Great. We're just one step closer to capitulation. Perhaps things could have gone a whole lot smoother if you'd listened to everyone the first time around. But you can't, because for some of you, sitting there towards the middle, your worldview, by and large, simply doesn't fit with the people you represent. And that doesn't mean I don't like you. That doesn't mean we can't get along. And that doesn't mean we can't engage in civil discourse. After all, I'm not up here ranting and raving, screaming like a lunatic, am I? It just means that some of you are fundamentally incapable of making principled judgments that the vast majority of residents here would clamor for, like not getting stuck with an ambulance bill. But tomorrow's another day closer to capitulation. So thanks for your time, and I guess get home safe.
Good evening, Howard Hurwitz, Prospect Avenue, Hackensack. A couple of meetings ago, one of the residents in Hackensack came before the council and asked about the process by which the vacant council seat had been filled. I believe the individual said that they had been interested, submitted an application or resume, and never heard. So I'd like to ask Mr. Soames if I could, and because you had Mr. Chandler congratulate you on your position as an independent and a new, fresh voice. How is it that you came to be on the council? Did you make an application, or were you recruited in some way?
Well,
If you don't-
first, let me say, I've known John for a very long time. He was one of my coaches growing up. I'm a volunteer coach around the city. I've done a lot in the city when it comes to, going to different events. And he asked me to get him an application, which I did. And within a couple of weeks, I came for an interview. And that's all. I don't know after that what happened.
Okay, so basically, you've answered my question. I thank you very much. It was, we would call it a recruitment. And I thank you. I wish you were a little more independent, but I have one more comment I'd like to make, because we've had people up here tonight who are waving papers and saying, based on these minutes, I got through Oprah, and these minutes I got through Oprah. And I'm really disheartened by the way the city manages its website. This is probably, well, it's June, so you probably had 20 meetings so far this year. There are 3 minutes, 3 sets of minutes on the website. January 7th, January 27th, and February 10th. And I think that is a disgrace. Not only that, but you ran out of, whatever you call it, the agendas tonight, so people can't find out from the website. You don't post the agenda on the website. After the meetings, you don't, after you approve the minutes, you don't post the minutes. And I think that's not the way to have an open government. So I'll address it to you, since you're the new member. Maybe you could do something about instructing or directing or asking the rest of the council and the administration to do something about it. Open up the government a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Frank Alabolino. I have some questions, some comments on tax abatements. Are there any discussions right now about approving tax abatements for any of the development going on in town?
Yes.
Okay, can you say what developers, not what developers, what properties they are?
We're talking about 2 properties at the time, 150 to 170 Main Street and 240 Main Street. I'm sorry, 210, 214 Main Street.
I have a question about 150, 170 Main Street, because I know that all those buildings are down.
Yes.
When you grant the tax abatement, or you get in discussions, is it before the developer breaks ground or afterwards?
Before, he can perform a demolition because he owns the property. Before he
Okay.
could build anything, there would have to be an abatement in place if he wanted one.
Okay, and these tax abatements, as you told me last week, and I found out, are not available for the school budget or the county budget, is that correct?
Just the school, the county gets a chunk.
Just the school, okay.
Yes.
I would like a commitment, I'm asking this as a private citizen from this council, to make a commitment to put aside a portion of these tax abatements for the school budget. That's what I'm asking you tonight, to put aside some of the money you're going to collect from these tax abatements and put it towards the school budget. The school budget, as you know, is much larger than the city budget. And I would like to see a commitment of at least 50%.
50% of what?
Of what you collect on these abatements go towards the school budget.
It would really depend, Mr. Avellino, on the amount of children in the project. If there was 1 child in there and we gave you 50% of the taxes on that building, that wouldn't make too much sense. What we're in the process of working on, we're using the Rutgers study to determine how many children are going to be in a project.
We did it. I'm sorry, I thought you were finished.
Go ahead. No, and we're very concerned about the amount of children coming in. Most of these buildings, specifically 150, 170, and 210 Main, are very, very small inside. Limited amount of 2 bedrooms, no 3 bedrooms. Not conducive to family life. Not saying there's not going to be children. I'm not going to say that, but we do have a concern, and we are addressing it.
I know the Board of Ed did their own demographic survey, and it came out they anticipate an additional 600 students will move into town because of these buildings.
Well, Between these two buildings, it's not even, I mean, I'm not even going to numbers, but it's nowhere, you're talking less than 25 to 30 children on these two buildings, so. And that's,
Can I get that in writing?
well, that's based on the Rutgers study, it's in writing.
Can you give me the school board study? I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one,
Our superintendent sits on one of your boards, correct?
yes.
Okay, I'm sure you call Mrs.
She's not, well,
Lewis,
she's not on the board, she's on the steering committee for
steering
redevelopment.
committee. But I still like to have a commitment to put a portion of the money you collect towards the school budget.
Well, I'm not going to give you a commitment right here, because that would have to be done by a vote of the full council, and they're not, number one, one's missing, number two, I think it would be done
Yeah,
by
but all you need-
resolution.
Mr. Mayor, you only need 3 yes votes, and there's 4 of you.
No, I'm not in a position of, we're in a public session right now, I'm not going to publicly vote on that.
Will you
Something
consider, will you consider
something we
it?
will consider and take into consideration and discuss, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Joe Barretto, Poplar Avenue.
Evening, Joe.
My reason for coming up here, obviously, like everyone else, is just about the ambulance, but I had a question for Mr. Trost. You said that if a person calls an ambulance right now, currently, whatever the insurance doesn't cover, after the person has paid, then they submit that bill to the city and the city reimburses, correct?
You are correct.
My concern is many insurances cover very little to none of any ambulance charges, and those charges can total 800,000 or more. If anyone here has ever been to Hackensack University, if you are 30 days late on a bill, the collection agency calls come and they're brutal. You know, even for surgeries where you thought you had insurance, mine is on my wrist right here, I'm still fighting that one with the insurance because it should be covered, and they're relentless. Now, I work and make a good living, thank God. What about the people that don't? And they fall and they break a hip, and they fall because they have Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. How are they going to pay that bill and then submit it to the city? And what is the turnaround time for that?
Some of the examples that you've given would fall under the indigent care, which the hospital is obligated to provide based on income. They can submit that. I know that last year they provided $330 million of indigent care through the hospital. So if there is someone that cannot afford and they submit their documentation, the hospital will look at the bill and reduce the bill.
But again, I guess, you know, a younger person has a lot easier time to get the bills together and submit and be diligent and on top and making calls. You kind of slow up a little bit once you get into your, 70s and 80s, and a lot of my neighbors are in that category, and their concern is falling and getting hurt. We have another winter like we just had. How many, shoulders and hips haven't been broken, and where you were used to not having to worry about that and be able to recover and feel good, now all of a sudden, where's my receipt? Where's my statement? Let me submit this, because Hackensack is going to hover and they're going to swoop you up and they're going to get their money one way or another. And I don't feel comfortable in relying on getting that money back in a good enough time where I don't have to decide whether paying my rent or my mortgage and paying for that ambulance that I didn't have to pay if we would have read things and straightened it out when we were supposed to.
The age, or the examples you were giving of the elderly, obviously if they're Medicare eligible, Medicare is their insurance, and they do cover 80% of it.
So 20% of a $1,000 bill on a person on a fixed income is $200. That's hard. All I'm saying is think of your parents, think of your grandparents in that situation. It's tough. And I think all we need to do is admit that there was a mistake made and fix it. And stop hiding behind a curtain of litigation. Thank you.
Regina DePasqua, Parker Avenue. I might have to talk fast because I got a lot of stuff. Mr. Sohn, who was at your interview?
By regulation, I had to do an interview with two, the mayor and the councilman, and then the other two councilmen.
The mayor and,
The deputy mayor, and then the other two councilmen.
so you had two separate interviews?
Yes,
Okay. And when were these?
I can't recall.
You are a politician. I'm ashamed to say that Hackensack failed to increase the age for purchasing tobacco tonight. You failed to even introduce it, to open it up for public discussion. And you failed. Shame on you. Shame on you. Also, there seems to be an appearance of a conflict with the attorney appointed for the mayor and deputy mayor, because that's the same attorney appointed to represent you in the Rotino matter and representing them in the Greenman matter, and Ms. Greenman is a witness in the Rotino matter. Can you see it's a little convoluted? There's an appearance of. Maybe you should look into that. Mr. Trost, you know I know, and this is what I said the first night, you know I know. Charity care does not cover 100%. Charity care doesn't cover everybody. Don't be telling people they will be covered when they will not be. Medicare doesn't cover ambulance. Part B doesn't cover ambulance 100%. It's not covered. I know. This is what I do for a living. I know. So don't be telling people that they will be covered. And then I want to know who decided that the city will pay these bills. Out of what budget, and what person in the city is going to have this full-time job? Because it's going to be a full-time job. Are you going to do it, Mr. Trost?
The buck stops with me, Regina.
You're going to sit there, you're going to get those bills, and you're going to write the checks out for everybody that...
The buck stops with me.
The buck stops with you. So is that a yes? You're going to do it? We're paying you to do this clerical job?
No, I said the buck stops with me, and there will be people that will handle that.
However,
they are already.
There is no ordinance, resolution, or any consensus of the council to pay this. It did not go out to bid. It's totally illegal. It's totally illegal to say, give us your bills and we'll pay them. It's totally illegal because you have another agreement that says the residents are going to pay it. It's totally illegal. So I don't know how you can say you're going to do that anyway. Oh, but it's in litigation, so don't answer me. All right, services. You know, my garbage was still sitting at my curb when I came here at 6:15 tonight. You say you're going to pick up garbage twice a week? You can't even get it done once a week. I know you say you're getting trucks. There's no reason we should have to pay to lease 3 trucks. And are they going to break down because they're not being maintained? It's crazy. My garbage, I went to pull the garbage can in when I got home, and it was heavy. I'm like, what the heck? It's probably still sitting at my curb, not picked up. Services, services, services. We're not getting them. The PSE&G. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned it. It's a safety issue at that school. You have to demand that they get it done during the summer, not in the third quarter, as they said. Okay, you must demand that it be done when there are no school children there. When there is no traffic, it must be. It's a safety issue. It's not okay that it gets done in the third quarter before the frost. That's not okay. Mr. Trost, 76 Main Street, you said the artwork does not violate the zoning ordinance. But the fence does. It does. It's solid. It's on a corner. The height is too high. It's not 10 feet from the curb. So you're going to legitimize this illegal fence that's soaking up water as we speak by painting it and spending $6,000 of taxpayers from Main Street money to do it? But you said the artwork does not violate the zoning ordinance. The fence does. The fence violates our fence ordinance and the zoning ordinance. 2 of them. 2 of them. And it's going to be there for 2 years? So you're making it permanent? That's insane. It's a private property. He is responsible for his private property. What residents or people visiting Main Street can't walk on Main Street. Okay,
Mrs.
my 5
DePasqua,
minutes
your
are
time's
up.
up. Thank you.
Rules of order, you're changing it, so you guys know you cannot speak at the end. Or you'll be out of order.
Next, please.
Mark Stein, Hackensack.
Good evening.
Just a basic question. I mean, right now, or previously, the hospital picked up $140,000 of the ambulance service. Now you're indicating that the city, the taxpayers of the city of Hackensack, are going to pick up the balance, whatever insurance companies don't pay. This was something the hospital paid $140,000. The city was responsible for everything over that 140. Now you're saying taxpayers are going to pay the total amount, the 140 plus. I really think you need to look, as everyone else has said, you really need to look at this all over again. This is not right for the taxpayers of this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Gelber, 304 Clinton Place. I'm just trying to figure out if you guys are the gift that keeps on giving or Pandora's box, because when I come with one thing to talk about, I get 50 more. And I can't figure out if it's a good thing or a terrible thing for this city. You already indicated that you haven't figured out who represented us on the hospital deal, so I won't ask again. How does Joe Schmo, the city resident, well, first of all, the thing about the city covering the bills that insurance doesn't cover, do we have a cap on that? Are we unlimited, just any resident? Who approved that? Did we budget for that somehow? Is that somehow voted on, somehow discussed? Can you point me to maybe even like a executive session that was even discussed, where that should be in minutes somewhere, something?
I defer to city manager.
I've outlined the procedure, and I think I've been pretty clear on what the procedure.
You've outlined the procedure, but we ran on a slate of open and transparent government, so I'd like to know what process. Why don't you outline this for me? Why don't you outline the procedure that came up with the procedure? Since we're being open and transparent.
I'm not going to comment on that, Stephen.
So basically what happened is we screwed up, and then after the fact we said we'll pay the bill. So since we're going to pay the bill, we're going to pay the bill. So what we're doing is, why didn't we do this then? Why didn't we consider at the same time bringing back, since we want to go into the business of paying for ambulances, why didn't we consider bringing back EMS services and billing insurance companies ourselves?
The volunteers are already doing that.
Yeah, the volunteers are. They do that from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., 7 days a week, which apparently Ms. Canestrino didn't know that they still existed because she suggested at a meeting that maybe we'd look at bringing volunteer ambulance back. But
That was a misquote by the record.
But-
You retracted it the next day, Stephen. That was not what I said.
all right, so did we consider that? Volunteer Ambulance Corp., their budget does not come back into the city budget, as you know, because you guys slashed their budget. You basically took away everything but gas.
They also have a building, and we are in continued talks with the volunteers.
All right, you guys just gift that keeps on giving. So how does Joe Schmo, the resident, how do they know to submit that bill back to the city? Why doesn't the medical center, for any resident in Hackensack, just bill the city direct? Because Joe Schmo, resident, they don't know to bill this. They don't know to send the bill to the city. I'm Steve Gelber. If I didn't come to meetings, I wouldn't know to give my bill to the city if the ambulance, God forbid, had to come to my house. Why doesn't the medical center, Johnny, maybe you can go walk down the hall and talk to somebody. Why doesn't someone at Hackensack Medical Center in the billing department send the bill directly to your office, because the buck stops with you?
Because that creates the city as a second insurer, and that becomes a legal problem. You can ask Mr. Sulkin all about that.
We don't care about legal in the city of Hackensack. I see, Ms. Canestrino, I see that you're taking furious and copious notes. Is that for your own reference, or do you plan on speaking at the end of the meeting?
I always take notes, Stephen, at every meeting.
Do you plan on speaking at the end of the meeting? Because you guys know that you can't speak at the end of the meeting tonight, right?
But I usually speak at the end of the meeting on things that I feel I should answer. You know that happens.
Yes, we do know that, but you know that you're not allowed to do it because you amended the rules of order tonight.
I'm taking notes, and I plan on saying something at the end of the meeting, yes.
You know that that's not allowed. You know that people might get unruly, and you know that they wouldn't be out of order at a meeting because there's no more meeting. Now, garbage trucks. What is our plan? Because I heard at a meeting that developers are going to come to the city of Hackensack because we're buying a new street sweeper. They're going to get excited about that. I found it comical until I saw in what deplorable shape our sanitation trucks are in. Now, there's been rumors that we want to privatize sanitation. I don't know who floated those to the guys around sanitation with threats. But seeing the deplorable shape of those sanitation trucks, that quite honestly, I think if DOT came in here, I don't know that they'd even stand up to muster, they'd be on the road, some of them. I saw one this morning in Maywood. The welding on the side of it, the patchwork, I think that the truck was more patchwork and welding than it was original truck. But what are we doing about buying sanitation trucks? Because if we don't have a plan for that, I think it might lend some credence to those rumors and threats that came out of that side of the dais up there.
Your time is up, Mr. Gilbert. Thank you.
No comments on anything tonight?
Not going to comment on that because I see where you're going with it. Thank you, though.
Do we have a plan to purchase sanitation trucks?
I would defer to the city manager. Your 5 minutes is up, Mr. Gilbert. Please sit down.
We have an answer.
We've just leased 3, sir.
Lease, for what period of time and what's the contract?
6 months.
Oh, that's a really short contract.
Can be extended.
5 minutes.
Your 5 minutes is up. Thank you.
Till the cop would throw him in jail.
Next, please.
Where he belongs. I don't think any cop wants to get charged. They put me in jail, put him in jail.
I'm Richard. Richard Serbo. I'm on Spring Valley Ave.
Excuse me, Mr. Servant. Stop his time, please. Sorry, Richard.
I'm Richard Serbo, Spring Valley Avenue, Hackensack. You know, I just wanted to thank the mayor, commending you for your comments at the Memorial Day celebration. I'm glad that you brought up the tragedy of suicide and homelessness among returning vets, and I commend you on that.
Thank you.
I think it was noble of you. And I want to thank Mr. Trost for his assistance in just a local sanitation matter for me. Thank you very much, Mr. Trost. Also, I just wanted to mention that I'm upset reading the paper and with impending lawsuits. And I know it's just what you read in the paper, but they seem to be adding up. And it brings us back to ethics. I think that was brought up tonight. Ethics goes back to ancient times. It's from the Greek ethikos, and it has consequences. It's what you say has consequences, and it's even referred to as consequentialism. And so, please. I have to watch what I say wherever I am. I'm sure you have to watch what you say. So do you. So I would think that the mayor and council would have to watch what they say in an ethical way. And so I just wanted to remind you of that. It makes me think of John Donne, who wrote that in the 17th century that no man is an island. So don't speak arbitrarily, please. We're all in on this. And what you say has consequences. And we're all in on it. And we all can suffer from those comments. So that's, what else was brought up? Nonpartisanism was brought up tonight by someone. Nonpartisan elections, and the reason they're nonpartisan is that city services are sort of dealt out without big party money involved. And I don't know, I think there's an argument on both sides of that, and it should be discussed. I don't know. So, but nonpartisan elections is because it's local services that we're dealing with, and it keeps out large outside money. So. Also, someone brought up tax abatements and handing over money to the school budget. What about homeowners? How about a break for homeowners? That might help. So, and of course, lastly, I just wanted to mention Spring Valley Avenue. It's been posted for many years that trucks over a certain tonnage are not allowed on that road. So it's certainly not being policed. So that road is posted to keep large vehicles off that road because it's not made for large vehicles. It's the proximity of the homes on that road is disturbed by vehicles over 4 tons. So maybe it's a technicality, but the road is posted, and if it was policed properly, maybe the heavy vehicles would be lessened on that road. I mean, I know no one's going to challenge the state and change bus lines. That seems to be sort of, impossible. It's, to challenge the state. Oh my God, But I don't see why you can't speak to the state about that. So that's all I have. Thank you very much for allowing me my moments here. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Trost, can we check into the tonnage requirements on Spring Valley, please?
Yes, I will.
Or limits, I should say. Next, please.
Hi, I'm Kevin Heaney from Summit Avenue in Hackensack.
How are you, Doc?
And how you doing?
Good.
I wanted to come this evening to change direction a little bit, and to speak about the shooting that occurred on Temple Avenue last week. All I know is what I read in the Bergen Record. And I think I was really saddened when I saw and read what had happened. I have many family members, 4, that were uncles and cousin who were police officers in a city here in New Jersey. And I don't mean to second guess what a police officer does in a situation like that. It's a very difficult place to be. But as a citizen and as mayor and council, I think we have a responsibility to oversee and to administrate the activities of our police department. And I think that in the 21st century, there probably is some training. Obviously, this was a situation with somebody that was mentally ill. I believe, at least that's what I read in the record. And we're sending police officers out who are well-trained to do the job that sometimes a mental health professional would be best able to handle, or at least to assist them. And now you can't insert someone like that in every single case. But in a case perhaps like this, where we're going to investigate someone, or we know that there's the potential for someone who has this kind of a problem, perhaps we could have some type of consultation, or perhaps there's some specialty training, and we can train some officers to do exactly that. So I just wish that we could at least think about that and offer our police department, who I think are really wonderful. I've lived here for a long time, and they do a great job. And don't make well, I don't think it's a stupid comment. In the 21st century,
sorry, Dr.
I think there probably are techniques that we can utilize to our advantage, and to try and avoid something like this in the future. Thank you very much.
I agree. Thank you, Dr. Haney. Next, please.
Victor Sasson, Euclid Avenue in Hackensack. I'd just like to comment quickly on the 2008 agreement with Hackensack Hospital. It was extremely controversial. It was viewed as a giveaway to the hospital, which is a nonprofit and hasn't paid taxes to the city on hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in property it owns. It fundamentally changed the residential nature of that neighborhood. And what benefit it has to Hackensack itself, it's hard to see. I don't know whether the majority of the patients come from the city or not, or the majority of employees come from the city or not. The fire department, I believe, was running the ambulance service at the time, and when it was taken over by the hospital, that was really extremely controversial, and that agreement should not be defended. Anyhow, my main statement tonight is we're all familiar with how corrosive partisan politics has paralyzed Congress, but a bigger story is that Hackensack has been struggling with the same problem, a war between the Board of Education and City Council that was elected on a reform platform in 2013. Board Chairman Jason Nunnemacher, who was an unsuccessful council candidate in 2013, another board member, that's Mr. Corolla, and Board Attorney Richard Salkin have spent many hours at City Council meetings attacking the governing body. That would suggest that their own house is in order, but that is far from true. Mr. Salkin lost his other job as municipal prosecutor after Nunnemacher and his slate was defeated. And according to press reports, he advised board members not to pay $1 million to the city for a high school resource officer when it was discovered the board was never built. I looked tonight at the story on NorthJersey.com. In September 2013, it was reported that Mr. Salkin said that without an invoice, he could not send a check to the city. It would be illegal. That's $1 million that the taxpayers were robbed of by the Board of Education. Taxpayers deserve an explanation for why Mr. Salkin billed the board more than $153,000 for his legal services in 2014, even though his contract limits those payments to $95,000 at $150 an hour. He also gets paid $300 for attending every Board of Education meeting. In the first 3 months of this year, Mr. Salkin has billed the board more than $36,000, an average of $12,000 a month, compared to the contracted average of less than $8,000 a month that he's supposed to follow. On another matter, 29 iPad tablets and Chromebooks owned by the Hackensack Public Schools were stolen or lost from April 1st, 2014 to September 30th, 2014. They were among a larger number of devices that were lost or stolen with a value of over $35,000. I understand that the Record looked into that but didn't publish a story for some reason. Only 6 police reports were filed in connection with the disappearance of these 29 devices. But no charges were filed or discipline taken against a teacher who took 2 of the Chromebooks home and didn't return them until the school's IT office traced them to his house. And there are apparently actually photographs of him using the device in his home. Those 2 Chromebooks were the only ones out of the 29 that were recovered. There is more. Disturbing rumors of sexual harassment complaints against a board member and school employees, and a rumor that one supervisor was falsifying the time cards of a secretary who went home early. Students and parents have long complained about the low quality of the food served in the high school, and nothing has been done. And the board appears to have no interest in making schools more efficient and saving money by installing solar panels. Finally, the school board schedules some of its meetings on the same night as city council meetings, suggesting school officials do not welcome scrutiny. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, please.
My name is Reverend Carolyn Davis. I reside at 192 Stanley Place, Hackensack, New Jersey. The first thing that's been brought up by many people, I hope that in some way the dockets can now be put online. Then everybody can print their own docket out before they come in. That's number one. Number two, Hackensack Medical Center, and I can speak because I worked there for 44 years, pays very little, if any, taxes. They've taken over half of Hackensack. And I love Hackensack Medical Center. That's where I worked for years, but facts are facts. It just seems a shame to me that an institution that has taken up so much of our city and has taken so many taxes that our citizens are paying for is now asking these citizens to pay for ambulance service. Just wanted to bring that up also. And my last comment is this. I've been trying to, I don't make it all the time, I try and make it as much as I can, and my daughter. I'm trying to encourage people to come to city council meetings. One of the problems they have is exactly what happens when we come here and what we see tonight. We're all entitled to our opinions, but I think it's a disgrace that people cannot get up and disagree agreeably. I would hate for our young people who we're training in school, in their auditoriums, in their classrooms, to be respectful of each other, to come here and to see us as adults acting the way we do. Many people don't come because they don't like what goes on. They just don't like it, so they stay home. Disagree, we're allowed to. We're Americans, part of the Constitution. But I think the attacking is unnecessary. It's unconstitutional as far as I see. Your right to opinion is constitutional, but not to attack people. Have your opinion, but you're keeping people away. If you want this to be a community where more people come out, there has to be more order. And what I see is there's no order called. Sometimes people should be sat down. Sometimes people should be told to sit down. That's why we have police officers here. But to continue to allow this uncontrolled calling out behavior, name calling, I just think it's wrong.
Mr. Nix. Mr. Nix.
I'm asking you a question, man.
Mr. Nix, you're not at the podium. You don't ask anything. You keep your mouth shut while people are talking, please. Thank you.
Good evening. Kathleen Salvo, Hudson Street. I was shocked to ride up Main Street and see the mess on the corner of Bridge Street and Main Street from the aftermath of an unfortunate fire. And to leave that wall up is just it's so not Hackensack. We're trying to rebuild Hackensack. We're trying to beautify it. Just a block away, you spend all that money on that park with all the trees. And many people don't even go around the bend. But what they do see, they see the green, they see Cinzari's beautiful park, and then the next thing they see are these 8-foot pieces of plywood. And by painting them, it's like putting lipstick on a pig. It's gross. And the wall is illegal. It's 8 feet. It doesn't have the right setback. It's solid material. It's on a corner. And it's on our property. The property in question was only approximately 50 by 100. The property owner has shotgunned half the city of Hackensack. He's got all his fence and these plywood pieces on the city property. He's also monopolizing 4 of parking. And Jason, you can relate to this. In fact, 2 of you are on the Upper Main Street Alliance, and Jason, you were on it. And this is like, it's so wrong to have this in the beginning of Main Street. It's like a rape of the whole street. It's a disgusting location. It should be all cleaned up thoroughly. It should be gravel should put there. The buildings that are stuck to the top of the building should come off, and it should be welcoming people to Hackensack. Many people don't go any further than that. They go to the courthouse, and that's their interpretation of Hackensack. And this is what you want to be representative of a city is trying to move on and to be developed. Now, 2 properties within the last year have been demolished, and they've been demolished the right way. The one property in question is the corner of Hudson Street at East Kansas Street. It was a very bad eyesore. It was removed, it was filled in, it looks beautiful. It's welcoming people to come in and to develop it. The other said property is on the corner of River Street by Cubby's at Water Street. Public Service did it. It's a beautiful, totaled, cleaned up, gravel is put on. It's welcoming somebody to develop it. But to come up Main Street, and the first thing you see is the beautiful green in the park. We do the flowers and everything. And the next thing is to see these 8-foot swollen, cheap plywood. It's that Oriental junk on this corner. It's just really not what we want Hackensack to be. So there's no reason for it. The building hasn't been removed. The hole has to be filled, and a time limit should be put on this. And all the fencing that's on the city property should be removed so that the citizens of Hackensack can enjoy it. They're destroying the man across the street's business because people usually park there and they go across the street to patronize the store. And now the fence is all over those parking spaces. It's all over our paving. There's no reason for it. And I'm sure you're going to move forward and get this cleaned up as soon as possible so it could be a really nice place to look at before. Do I have more time? Do I have any more?
2 minutes.
Getting back to the ambulance, we have to do something. It has to go out on, it's really sad that we are going to be paying for it. And everybody was right that's up here. Unless you come to these meetings, you don't know that we're not supposed to be paying for it. And you do get billed with this tab. We were even getting billed with the tabs when we weren't supposed to. And then we'd have to hand the bills in. But it's a burden on the taxpayer. And then the other thing is with the schools, how do we know how many people are going to be on these schools? I agree with the Board of Ed. We should give them money, but we should establish how many children these apartments are going to generate, because it's going to be a big burden on the city of Hackensack. Thank you.
Next, please.
Mayor, Council, I know it's a late night, so I'll keep this short. I just wanted to clarify something that Mrs. Salvo mentioned. I agree with her that the construction fence that you're looking at is unsightly. It's the first I'm hearing tonight from Regina that the construction fence itself, there might be a compliance issue there. As I understand it, it's a temporary fence. It's not going to be there forever, and I defer to people who know better than this than me, but maybe that's the right size and height for a fence, and maybe that's what's called for. Whatever the case may be, the whole point of the mural project, which the Upper Main Alliance launched in cooperation with Artsburg and the Northern New Jersey Community Foundation, was to address that, an unsightly construction fence, and to do it in a creative way that would engage the artists that we've been working with for the past 4 or 5 months, and to try to beautify that area and at least somehow take away from that ugliness that we all have to experience by virtue of the fact that there was a fire there, and for the next 18 or 24 months until that site is rebuilt, that's what we have to work with. So this is a temporary project that I think we have an opportunity now to do something really wonderful, something very special and unique that is already getting the attention of the press, that is already getting the attention of the artistic community. So, assuming the construction fence doesn't pose any sort of hazards to the health of passersby, I would hope that we can see this for what it is, an opportunity to do something fresh and new and different and exciting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Nick's, Hackensack. It's a regular old meeting. I haven't heard anything except for the gentleman that really laid into the schools and the people that come here from the school board that decided they became Superior Court judges or Supreme Court judges on this ambulance deal. I've asked a couple questions. They don't know what they're talking about. Most of the people that came up here tonight don't know what they're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I'll tell you. Or I'll say, enlighten me. I'm looking for somebody in the audience that's going to give some positive information. I guess you people don't remember when you couldn't even get up here and say anything because of the Ziza administration, which was Horowitz, Kaufman, and a couple other rings. I don't want to go mention everybody's name.
Mr. Nix, Lenny, up here.
What?
Please don't address.
What?
Please don't address the public, address us. Thank you.
It's a public meeting. I can address the public.
No, you shouldn't be dealing with the public. You should be dealing with
I
us.
think if they're going to come up here and sabotage you, I think they can sabotage.
And you're totally free to express your opinion to us. You're totally free to express your opinion to us, not to engage with them.
It's not my opinion, it's a fact. The Ziza...
Go ahead.
We have been so shattered from the Ziza administration, the police department, that these people don't even understand. You couldn't even come to a meeting. And the way they talk, those attorneys back there, you know what? I guess anybody can get a law degree today. I've had nothing positive. All I've heard is opinions. I don't give too many opinions. The people I mentioned came from where they came from. They're leftover rat from the Ziza administration. And now they've decided they're going to come and make this political. Oh, I messed up. I left out the guy with the glasses on his head. He was a real win.
Mr. Nix, please do not engage the
I'm
public.
disgusted with these people that come up here.
I understand you are,
Nothing
sir.
positive. Nothing positive. We got a town to build. We got a town.
Stop focusing on the front. Enough already.
Enough back and forth. Back and forth. Joseph, Joe. Lenny, officer, take him out. Lenny, out. I asked you to stop engaging the public, please. I'm sorry. Can't engage the public.
All glad you people are happy. With the money you all make down there.
I don't think we should
what
have
you're
involved in saying
doing,
it.
really affecting.
Unless, before we
I'm
close
glad
the
I'll
meeting.
leave because it's starting to smell in here. Anybody want to
Take a 5-minute
discuss
recess and
outside?
find out.
I'm available.
Can we speak?
No touching.
He's going to yell at you. If more people speak.
Can we speak before we close the meeting?
Can, but then other people can get back up.
He ain't go the second time.
Yeah, if it, right, not if they've already spoken.
No, you can come up.
I don't think I can follow that act really very well. My name is Gail Fitzgibbons. I live on Summit Avenue. And I don't come for all the reasons that were stated, that it's just the atmosphere is horrible. But I did want to say, Mr. Mayor, this is the party that ran on reform. And I look here that Kramer and Sons was given $23,915 to do the basins in. Isn't it interesting that he's on the board of the hospital? And now I hear all about the ambulances. And Mr. Mayor, I think it's really important that you start recusing yourself from these votes. I think it's really a conflict of interest.
Thank you. Anyone else?
He's coming.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, and to the City Council. Just two things I just wanted to mention. That one is about the kids. I'm here to talk about the kids. I don't hear much about our kids. What's trending in America now is very troubling. So I just kind of wanted to reach out to you if we can have some constant dialogue with the principals, our police department, different people, how we can reach out to our kids to talk to them, to explain to them the importance of how to handle, how to be when a police officer stops them. It is so important today. For me, it is. I have a son, he's African American, I'm worried about it. And how do we relate to kids and get them to understand what's right and what's wrong? I think we just need more dialogue today. Our kids, to me, I mean, I'm sure other parents can maybe identify what I'm saying. Our kids are lost. And, and it's just a bad time for our kids today. So they need help. They need us. They need guidance from the council, the school board, and everyone, how we can reach out to them to let them understand that, the police officers are here to help us and to help them. But the dialogue is important. And you see it's going on in many cities. Don't wait for something to happen and then we become proactive. So I'm just saying, I'm reaching out. It's bothering me that I don't see that going on. Let's not wait and then we have a knee-jerk reaction. Let's try to approach it now and just have constant dialogues with churches, to everyone, and reach these kids and let them understand what's going on, what's right and what's wrong. And I think we can help our kids. Okay, so it's very important for me as a parent, and I know you have your platform, bring the chief in, the director, and just, go out to the schools and talk to these kids. They'll understand. They're not animals, but there's no one trying to reach out to these kids. And it's only when something happens, then we have knee-jerk reactions. So I'm here to represent our kids, and we need to save them. And it's just a bad time for them. They're struggling. And that's what I'm here to represent, And as parents, let's all come together, have meetings, have a little barbecue somewhere in Carver Park. Bring the kids, bring the parents together, and let them understand it's one community. The cops are here to help us, and they're not our enemies. but also let the police officers understand that there's a way to also respond to our kids. It's let's do it together. And, you know, so what's happening in Ferguson and Texas and Florida and New York or wherever, let's try to stop it from happening here in Hackensack. Thank you.
Bergen County, just
Yes, there was an event yesterday.
just so that you know, there was an event yesterday at the Bergen County One Plaza that I was at, where residents of Teaneck, Englewood, and Hackensack did get together, and there were a panel of our police director, the Englewood chief,
Yeah, I saw
the Teaneck, I believe it was an ex-Teaneck officer,
Right.
and kids from the community that did get together. And when I spoke to the woman that was running it,
Right.
she did say she's going to look into going to those 3 cities, the different schools, and trying to get more kids involved. So, I mean, I completely understand your concern, and there are people working on it. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, I saw that, and thank you for that. But what I'm saying is, let's do them more.
Yeah, they need to be done more often. You're 100%.
Right.
You're right. Absolutely.
Right. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Should we speak out?
Motion to close to the public.
Over that.
Second.
Okay, do that.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Excused. Councilmember Sol. Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Mr. Battaglia?
Well, the resident is
Yes, you can go if you'd like.
No, we're just gonna have a conversation back here in a public space
Go right ahead.
until the chamber doors close.
Okay, go right ahead.
Go ahead,
We're
Leo.
not disturbing a public.
Go ahead, Leo.
I'm gonna be bothered with you guys. Thank you for coming.
Complying with your own rules.
Mrs. Canestrino?
No, I can't.
Okay?
No comment.
We'll get that comment, we'll get that power to the end of the meeting comment in response.
You need a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Galvin, appreciate that.
You need a
Motion to adjourn.
Mayor, you need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
Councilmember Pataglia. Deputy Mayor Canestrino. Councilmember Sol. Mayor LaBrus.